Well, good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office on this Sunday morning. It is the 4th day of February 2024. This is the special Sunday morning weather briefing coming to you from the home weather office. And as I look out the window of the weather office, it's raining. It's probably raining where you are. But the interesting thing about what I'm seeing on my window is that the winds are hardly moving. But I know that about 10 miles to the south, the winds are gusting to 30 miles an hour, and we still expect the winds to be picking up as we get into the afternoon. Looks like peak winds may be between about 2 and 5 p.m. in many areas. I'll show you that here in a second. We've had some pretty good rain overnight, but nothing excessive. And if anything, the morning model runs are a little bit lower in rain totals. So it looks as though the flood risk, the street flooding that we feared may be happening if we had some heavier downpours, that may be looking less and less likely, as well as the creek flooding. That also looks as though that is going to be a little bit less likely. The rain totals coming in so far a little bit lower, and it looks as though that may continue into the afternoon. Don't get me wrong. It's still going to be a wet day and not a great day to be outside doing things. But still, it looks like the rain totals might be just a little bit on the lower side, but we're still going to be seeing over an inch of rain. I want to show you, let's start off with the radar. So here's the radar. As I'm recording this around 8:30, as you can see, we have widespread rain. This is from the Davis radar. And there are some breaks here and there, but boy, everything is moving very, very quickly. So even if it does stop raining where you are for a little bit, it'll start raining again. Somebody in the comment section asked the other day what these little things that look like antenna are. These are storm tracks that come off the radar. The radar will process these and try to see what these cells are doing. It just kind of gives you an idea of how they're moving, but I don't really put too much credence in that other than the movement, but what it tries to do is tell you how fast things are moving and where they'll be at certain increments. But yeah, it just kind of gives you an idea everything's moving off to the northeast. Turning into snow in the Sierra. It is snowing in the mountains. So far relatively light, but that should be picking up as we go through the afternoon. But as you can see, there are also embedded in here some periods where there is some heavier rain, and I think that'll continue as we go through the afternoon. All right, I want to show you this because this is one of the things I find really interesting this morning. So this is off a site called MesoWest. If you want to Google it, just MESOWEST. Actually, let me scoot this down a little bit. You can see that right here, MesoWest. Just Google that and you'll get a map and you can click on California. And then over here, I usually go to NWS and RAWS. That gives you more data. You hit refresh map, and then down here you can put in wind speed, wind gust, temperature, whatever it is you might want to put. So right now I'm just going with current wind speed, not wind gusts. And what I wanted to point out here is that, again, as I'm recording this around 8:30 in the morning, the winds are generally light around Sacramento, but look at the direction. They're from the north. Look at Davis. The wind direction here, the wind barbs point into the wind. So the wind is coming down this way from the north. Here in Lincoln, the wind is out of the north at 8 miles an hour. Let's go a little bit farther to the south. Look at Ione. Right now, Ione has winds that are gusting to 39 miles an hour, and it's from the southeast. In Stockton, we have a sustained wind at 28. We've been getting gusts a little higher than that. And toward the Bay Area, winds out of the southeast gusting to 41. So you have a wind out of the north in Sacramento, wind out of the southeast in Stockton, and in between is this convergence zone. Fairfield actually has the offshore wind at 32. This area of south wind will push to the north as we go through the morning hours and into the afternoon. And so while the winds are not blowing much around Sacramento, and if you're in Sacramento and you're waking up and going, hey, they said it was going to be windy today, it will. This area will move to the north, and eventually we'll start seeing winds gusting 40 to 50 around Sacramento by the time we get into the afternoon. Let's go to the HRRR model, high resolution model, and show you what's happening here today. So as this model, let's see, this is this morning, and here's the low out here at 986 millibars, but this model continues to deepen that low down to 983 millibars, 982 millibars. So that means that as we go through the day, this is around 5 o'clock this evening, the low off the coast continues to deepen. And with the low continuing to deepen, that means that the pressure gradient continues to tighten, especially with the low moving closer to the coast. And that's why we're expecting the strongest winds to be this afternoon as we get the deepest low as well as the closest to the coast with the low. And so we should see the winds pick up, and that's when we'll start seeing winds gusting up around 40, 50 miles an hour in more areas. There had been models, including this one, that had been indicating maybe a possibility of getting some gusts around 60. That's looking a little bit less likely. Both this model and the NamNest model, which have wind gust data, none of them are reporting or showing possible wind gusts up around 60, but they're showing wind gusts up around 50 or so. And let me show you that. This is the HRRR's version of that. And this is around noontime, winds gusting into the 40s in a widespread area. But you notice that the cutoff line looks like the wind by then is up into Sacramento, but for Plumas County and areas like Marysville, the wind would still be on the light side. And then that area should spread to the north. However, areas, let's say, north of Highway 20, north of the Southern Buttes, probably will not be seeing anything in the way of the kind of wind that we'll see in Sacramento County, San Joaquin, and Solano counties, as well as in the foothills, where we could see winds gusting up to around 50 miles an hour or so. And still, we still have the possibility of damaging winds. This is 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you can see here winds gusting on the east side of the valley. So an area, maybe let's say like Rancho Murrieta or Ione or Farmington could see winds gusting that high. There's the low here. You have the wind from the north here, strong onshore wind here. And then as we go through the night tonight, while it will still stay breezy, this is around 8 o'clock tonight, the possibility of damaging winds goes away. So if we're going to see damaging winds, it looks as though it's going to be this afternoon between maybe 2 and 5, 2 and 6 o'clock, something like that. So as that pressure gradient increases, then the low starts to fill in a little bit overnight. All right, I'm going to go to the North American model, go farther out in time because there's been a little shift in the morning thinking here in terms of what's beyond this. So here's the rain that goes by today. We get an additional, let's say, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of rain. Still think we're going to see 2 to 3 feet of snow in the Sierra, but the snow level will be on the way up as we go through the day. This is Monday morning. Monday is going to be a more showery day. It'll be somewhat breezy, but we won't have the possibility of damaging winds. What we will see is occasional showers as this low just kind of pivots around, and there'll likely still be chain controls in the Sierra. The change in the models is bringing this area of moisture up from the south. So in other words, the low is spinning here, and the circulation around it is dragging that area of moisture up from the south to keep us in occasional rain on Tuesday. Nothing heavy, but it would still be rainy into the day Tuesday, and then things would break up as we go into the day Wednesday with the possibility of getting a little bit more snow in the Sierra on Wednesday. So there is still a lot of this weather system to go through, but we'll continue to see periods of rain this afternoon. And while we may see standing water in some of the areas that drain poorly, the possibility of getting a lot of the creeks to rise is looking a lot less. There were some of the models a couple of days ago that were giving us the chance of over 2 inches of rain in 24 hours. That is not looking likely. It looks like I said, we may see an additional 1/2 inch of rain as we go through the day today, bringing us up to around 1 inch to 1.25 inches, something like that. And that's certainly bringing down the threat of having the creeks go out. But there may be some standing water on the roads. And in terms of the wind, I mentioned that the worst of the wind and the possibility of damaging wind is likely going to be this afternoon. Once we get past, let's say, 5 or 6 o'clock, the winds will still be there. It'll still be breezy, but we won't have the winds gusting to 50. Those winds will gradually back off as we go through the night tonight, which will diminish the possibility of more power outages or something like that. And in terms of snow in the Sierra, it's going to snow all day. There'll be chain controls up all day. We may see an occasional closure of the roads. That hasn't happened yet, but we'll see if that happens. So it is still going to be quite stormy today, but if anything, the morning models are taking it from here to here. So which is good because instead of going from here to here, instead the models are going from here to here, backing things off a little bit. But don't get me wrong, it's still going to be pretty stormy as we go through this afternoon. So that's everything I've got for you this morning on this Sunday morning. Let's see. Heather Waldman is in the studio right now. Dirk Verdorn will have you covered throughout the day today. in the TV land. I'll be back in the studio tomorrow. But that's everything I've got for you this morning. Enjoy your rainy Sunday. Make it a great day. I'll talk with you later.